Hello.
Yeah, g'day. Is this Dave?
Yeah, this is Dave.
Hi, this is Dale calling from New Zealand.
Ah, how you going, buddy?
Yeah, good, good. I guess you've had a couple of these now. You're ready to go for an interview?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So, how's it going with you guys at the moment? You keeping yourselves busy?
Yeah, we're just getting ready to actually head out on the road with Goat Hawk for our Australian album launch tour, which starts in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's not too long, and then even New Zealand's getting a bit of go tour, so that's good. Um,
Yeah,
but I did notice, obviously not a New Zealand thing, but you were recently had a couple of goes at drum clinics with George Colias of Nile.
yeah, yeah.
How did that go? And as a non-musician myself, what goes on in one of these clinics?
Well, first and foremost, George is a very close friend of mine, and I actually organised a tour out here for him because we'd done one a couple of years ago that went pretty well. So it was about time that he came back out. Um, in terms of actually what happens in the clinics, is more a combination of performance and then question and answer time. We'll play a few songs and then open it up to the attendees to ask any questions they might have, about touring or the instrument itself or techniques or just whatever they like, really. Um, so yeah, that one's actually, the tour's actually still going. We've got the last show tonight, and then George goes home on Wednesday, and then I fly out Thursday to start the next tour. So it's been it'll be all month on the road this month for me.
Because your the latest album drops today, doesn't it? It's somewhere in the world. It's released today.
Yeah, the US comes out today, and I think it comes out Friday uh, in Australia, which should be good.
Cool. Now that one's out on Prosthetic Records. Sorry.
Yeah,
If you don't mind me asking, why the move from Nuclear Blast? Because I mean, Nuclear Blast really seems to sort of really be building some steam at the moment.
yeah. I mean, Nuclear, a huge label, and we had a two album deal with them. But their roster is so huge, so it can be quite easy to get forgotten in the mix. And they did do a great job for us, but of course they've got massive priority bands. So yeah, I think what we wanted to do was change things up a bit, go somewhere where we'd have a little bit more priority and push from a little bit of a smaller label. That's why we chose to go with Prosthetic in the end.
Cool. And they've obviously been treating you well then.
Yeah, it's been great thus far. The album hasn't come out. We've done lots and lots of interviews. More interviews than we did for the last album. So yeah, their team works really hard and pushes it. So I think it's going to work out well.
Cool. All right. So now this is, I guess, in a way, while this is your sixth new album, I guess it's your third really big sort of international release. I guess, was that a factor in terms of your mindset going into this? Because I know, and certainly from the sound anyway, from my point of view, you don't seem like the kind of band that would, I guess, in terms of going into recording a record and all that, you don't sort of just chuck some old shit together and call it a day. You really sort of seem to have a considered approach. So, what was my question? Oh, what was the mindset sort of going into all this?
Well, we always just go into the album recording process just with the simple goal of creating the best thing we can at the time. So as we get better at the recording process and as songwriters and things like that, it makes the process a lot easier, but then also a little bit more daunting because there's more options and things like that. So the production itself is handled by Joe, our guitarist. So he records and engineers it, mixes it, and each album he's getting better as a producer himself. So it's always we always feel it's a step forward for us whenever we undertake the recording process. So yeah, the mindset, it was pretty simple. Just come up with the best album we possibly can, and I think we definitely have done that.
Cool. It sounds like it. I've heard a few streams on that. Is it Decibel or something? I think through the tinny speakers here at work, annoying my co-workers. But I like what I hear so far. No, yeah. In terms of Joe doing a lot of taking on that kind of role, you guys have your own studio and all that sort of stuff. And Joe records other bands, isn't he? Down in Tasmania, is it?
Yeah. So we're pretty DIY in that regard. I handle the booking for the tours. Joe handles the recording, and Jason, he handles all the printing of the merch. So we've all got our little side businesses that are kind of related to the band. I've got Direct Touring, which is my touring company, and Joe's got Crawl Space, and Jason's got Third Eye Printing. So it just makes life a lot easier. So skills that we've learnt through playing in the band, we can apply and actually generate a living out of it for ourselves, which it's a lot of hard work, but it's also pretty cool to pretty much be doing everything inside the music industry.
I've come across Direct Touring on Facebook and all that. What you said, that sounds kind of unusual, but at the same time, kind of an obvious step to take.
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward. You learn a lot of skills when playing in a band and touring and things like that. You might as well try to take that step further and try to do it full time. So we all generate our money from within the musical realm, which it kind of sounds like an idealistic and a dream lifestyle, which I guess in some ways it is, but it's also a lot of hard work. I could easily say that we work harder than most people to earn our incomes, but wouldn't change it for anything.
Okay, so that's good. So it sounds like you've dropped the day jobs when you're not touring then.
Well, we've turned it into our day job. So when we're not touring with the band, we've got our day jobs around the industry. So we're always working. There's not too many days off a year. So it's either touring with my own band or teaching drums or touring other bands or organising tours, whatever. So it's things are always busy, but yeah, it's cool.
Cool, that sounds cool. Now I guess he's back onto the sort of thing here. Many would categorise the Psycroptic sound, I guess, as a sort of a tech death or death metal kind of sound, but I mean there does seem to be a few influences chucked in there into the mix. Again, I guess with that sort of considered approach thing, as I mentioned earlier, is that in a way, sort of those influences seem to be just that. You haven't sort of taken them, they're not like a driving factor for the band, which I guess it can sometimes be a downfall of some albums when it's too heavily influenced. But I mean, is that a fair comment to make?
Oh, definitely. I could safely say that Joe, who writes the majority of the music, is more influenced by 80s thrash and hard rock than he is the modern day death metal. I don't think he even listens to it, to be honest. So I think that's why we've definitely got a bit of a unique sound going on. It's not your typical death metal sound. I don't know if you can still call it death metal. I like to think we're just a metal band because we've got lots of different things chucked into the mix and going on. Sometimes I even think you listen to the riffs and they're a bit more like a technical Pantera, just with blast beats over the top. So yeah, we're always trying to do our own thing and not really be too influenced by what's happening, in the current death metal scene. just because we're influenced by everything. You know, we're not trying to keep up with anyone. We're just going our own way, so to speak. So yeah, I think that's definitely a fair comment to make.
Cool. Now, is that kind of attitude what sort of brought you guys from Australia to, being a global name?
I think so. Just pushing it and always doing our own thing. You know, in Tasmania, we're isolated from the rest of Australia, so to speak. So everything can get fairly insular, you know. So we don't really care too much what's happening in any sort of scenes, because I don't think we don't really belong to any particular scene. You know, we're not a part of any community. You know, of course, when we tour, we hang out with everyone, and we still do our own thing, so to speak. You know, I've noticed in a lot of, you know, in certain cities and different scenes that it can get what's the word? It can be a little bit competitive, or, you know, backstabby, or whatever. But we're not exposed to any of that sort of stuff. So we're the isolation's good for us.
Now, I know, obviously doing some research for this, a lot seemed, especially in the States and all that, whenever you talk to any of those sort of folks, a lot seems to be made of the fact that you guys are from Tasmania, but being from a small and isolated place is not that unusual, surely. I mean, it's not like every band is born and bred in LA or New York, right?
Yeah. I guess a lot of bands will try to move to a central location to, inverted commas, make it. But these days, with just the ease and accessibility of the internet, you can live in the most remote area possible and still get your music out there. So I guess to some degree it would help being in more central locations for, I guess, the networking and the touring side of things. But as far as lifestyle, you know, we prefer to be based down in Tassie. It works better for us, and it's a lot more relaxed sort of lifestyle, you know, and it does allow us to have these other businesses and live from the music as well. So yeah, we've never really been drawn to move overseas. We all like Australia a lot. I'm actually based in Melbourne, but I'm backwards and forwards from Tasmania about every 5 or 6 weeks. So I guess I kind of almost live in two cities. But somewhere like moving to LA or moving to London or whatever, for the sake of the band, I think would be the end of it. You know, would be over in a month. I want to go home. Thinking
in terms of touring, because I mean, obviously now with Goat Hoy, it's quite a big Australian tour. There's quite a number of dates, but there's also is there a pull to continue touring like in America and Europe and that sort of thing at this stage of the band's career?
Yeah, we still quite enjoy it, but it's always, we have to do things that are going to be fun for us. You know, of course, the band performance itself isn't our primary income. We do everything around it. So there's the band, and then there's the businesses and that sort of thing. So the touring has to work in with what we do back home as well. So we pick and choose and do the tours we want to do. But in saying that, yeah, we do have some. We are looking at some North American and European tours this year, because we haven't been for quite some time. So that's in the planning stages at the moment, which should be hopefully finalised in the next month or so. So we're looking forward to that.
Oh, cool. Now, a general question, I guess, from a fan's point of view generally. Over here in New Zealand, 2015 is just fucking packed. This half of the year so far with international bands coming left, right and centre. But in terms of representation in media, apart from good regional radio, I mean, frankly, there's fuck all national radio, TV or print or anything really. How's Australia doing with that sort of in that sort of respect? I guess there's obviously a lot better than what we're doing. It sounds like.
I think it's kind of a global thing. We do have lots of. It's basically media's in a transitional phase. I think moving towards more the online content. Some of it's flourishing, some of it's not so much. Personally, print media out here, the standard print media, isn't doing so well. But, when that does happen, it's going to present a lot more opportunities for someone who can, I guess, fix the problem or address the problems of the old media. I don't see it necessarily as a bad thing, changing things up and just establishing new delivery methods, if that makes sense. So I've seen a lot of changes over the years, but I think when there's a demand, it's going to be filled. It's not a case of if one radio station gets cancelled, then that's it. If a radio station or radio program gets cancelled, that's just going to allow for a younger person who takes the initiative to start something of his own, his or her own. So the initial knee-jerk reaction is to always say that when things get shut down, it's a bad thing because it's change. But there's always a positive in the negative situation. I think the support has always been there, and it's always going to be there because the demand for this music is always going to be around. It's just going to be changing, and I guess packaged in different ways. And with the online aspect, that's I think a bit more of an instant and easy avenue for the fans to get the information that they would like. So it's the same thing is happening here. Certain things are winding down, but it's presenting a lot more opportunities. People just have to jump on them.
Mm. Cool. I don't think I've left you much time before your next chat, I guess. But thanks for talking to me today. Definitely going to be. I think I'm all right to crank the album a wee bit this afternoon, so I'm going to give that a go on the streaming.
Okay, awesome.
All right, thanks for talking to me, and good luck with the album and everything.
Thanks a lot, mate. I'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.